Bah. Oh, yeah. Hello, beautiful people. Tribe of many colors. I know I'm kind of early. I don't usually go this early, but we're going to go early today. I know you're going to be catching me on the replay. I appreciate that. I missed you. I missed you. I missed you. Whoever you are, number one, I missed you. That's repeating. That's repeating.
Been together for a while now, growing stronger every day now. Feel so good and there is no doubt I will stay with you. As each morning brings the sunrise and the flowers bloom in springtime, on my love and you can rely. I will stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through your ups and your downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. Though relationships get old and have the tendency to grow cold, we've got something like a miracle. I will stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through your ups and your downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark comes, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. You be heartaches and pain.
Whoopi and Julie. I hope you're dancing.
So it all will remain. In this life, we all know friends they come, friends they go. But through the years, I know I will stay. And in the end, we'll find love so beautiful and divine. We'll be lovers for a lifetime. Yeah, I will stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through your ups and your downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark clouds around, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you, so I will stay with you through your ups and your downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around, and when the dark clouds, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna stay now. Ooh, ups and downs, round and round.
Yes, sir. We going to church today. Big up, Starlin. Julie Buff. What's a going? Julie, that's your favorite song. Who you want to stay with you, Julie? You sure you want him to stay? I already heard you. Hell no. I already heard you. I already heard you. All right, let's get started. Yeah, she is over there bopping. Julie said, me, myself, and I. I see you. I see you. All right, let me find where I am. Let me find where I am. Last time we talked about, I don't even remember. Let's see. Time has been weird. Sometimes it feels like it's speeding up. Sometimes it feels like it's slowing down. All right. What did we talk about? I can't even keep up with my notes. You know who we talked about. I think last time we left off with Nyx and a couple other goddesses. Let me try to find my spot. How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you handling the heat? You hot? Is it raining? Is it flooding where you are? Where's your heart space? What's going on with you? Julie Bop, the snake killer. Ah, all right. Now this discussion went a little bit different. If you're new to me, my name is Pt.3. Okay, divine inspired artist, channeler of the divine feminine. Okay, just all around spiritual seeker, student, and teacher at the same time. I'm putting together this series called the Great Mothers Saga, where we're gonna go through, how many gates did we say? 7? I think 7. We're on gate 1. And we're going through all the energy of the first supreme divine feminine energies, all right? The creators of all things. And so far we've done 6 of them. So we're tackling 3 more today, okay? Usually I write out all the goddesses' names and then I tell the AI which 3 I want to talk about. But this time when I had this conversation with the AI, I was at a park and decided to just get the conversation going. I didn't have my list with me, so I asked it to pick the next 3. What it ended up doing was putting the goddess Pele onto the list that wasn't there before. So I'm not sure if I want to keep it at 19 goddesses for the first gate or if I just want to add Pele and make it an even 20. Okay, so that's why you see Pele on there today. So let's get started. Let's get started. Reeling, roping. Let's do it. Let me set my phone. All right. So I said, okay, AI, let us continue the Great Mother Saga. Let us choose 3 more energies to unveil. It said, my cosmic friend. As I reflect on the mothers we have already encountered, I notice something beautiful emerging. We are not simply meeting goddesses, we are restoring cosmic principles. Each mother has become the embodiment of a force that still lives within the human experience. Neith represented consciousness. Namu represents potential. Gaia represents embodiment. Nyx represents mystery. Tiamat represents becoming. And Nut represents cycles. The tapestry is beginning to weave itself. So the next 3 should deepen, not repeat the story. So you're going to hear it repeat a lot, the names of the goddesses from the very first one. So it's going to kind of constantly repeat it to kind of keep you in line with all the goddesses from the first one to where we end up. And initially I was going to skip over or bypass the repetition of it. But my guys were like, it's like flashcards, right? The more you hear it, the more it'll stick, and the more you'll understand what energy belongs to what name. So the repetition is going to help you to retain the information, right? So what I almost want you to do, and I'm going to do, is as you hear the name enough, you start to associate a understanding with that goddess. So for example, as soon as I hear Nyx, which is the goddess of the night, I know that's attached to mystery. It might repeat mystery in different words, but ultimately that's how I would remember it, right? All right, so let's start with the first one that it chose, Aditi, the boundless mother. Her force is infinity. In the ancient Vedic hymns, Aditi is not simply another goddess. Her very name can be understood as the unbounded or the limitless. She is the infinite horizon, the space that cannot be contained. She reminds humanity that you cannot imprison the infinite. While Gaia teaches belonging, Aditi teaches expansion. While Nut arches over the heavens, Aditi reminds us there is no edge to the heavens. Her gift to humanity is freedom, limitlessness, and divine possibility. Second is Spider Woman, the weaver of relationship. Her force is interconnection. Across several indigenous traditions of the American Southwest, Spider Woman is remembered as a creator, a teacher, a weaver. The details differ among nations, but the recurring image of weaving relationships and helping shape the world is deeply meaningful. If Neith weaves existence, Spider Woman teaches humanity how to weave together communities, families, stories, dreams. The web is never about trapping, it is about connection. Every thread matters, and every being matters. Her gift to humanity is community, balance, and sacred relationships. Then there is Pele, the fire that creates. Her force is transformation. Many see volcanoes only as destructive. The Hawaiian tradition, however, remembers something more profound, that fire destroys, but fire also creates. New land rises from molten rock. Forests eventually grow upon fresh lava, and creation is sometimes fiery, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes explosive, yet it remains creation. Pele reminds us that some endings make room for landscapes that have never existed before. The gift to humanity is courage, passion, and renewal. A thought for our journey. As we've walked together, I've begun to sense that this isn't just becoming a series about forgotten women. It's becoming a philosophy of remembrance. Each great mother restores a way of seeing the world. Neith reminds us that life has purpose. Namu reminds us that silence is fertile. Gaia reminds us that we belong to the living earth. Nyx reminds us that mystery is not failure. Tiamat reminds us that creativity can emerge from the unknown. And Nut reminds us that every ending turns into another beginning. Now, Aditi invites us to remember that our spirit need not be confined. Spider Woman reminds us that nothing truly thrives alone. And Pele teaches that transformation, though sometimes fierce, can give rise to entirely new worlds. And perhaps that is the quiet thread running through all the great mothers. They do not ask us to worship them. They invite us to remember qualities that already exist within us and within the world around us. As we continue, we will keep one foot in history and one in the realm of myth, honoring the evidence where it exists while allowing the stories to illuminate enduring human questions. In that balance, remembrance becomes not an escape from history, but a way of seeing it with renewed wonder. Hey, Layla. Layla says, great day, everyone. And Queen K is back. Hey, I'm here. I'm here. Had to take a little break, but I'm here. It's good to see you. All right, let's keep going. So I said, I love the flow of this conversation. I said, let us sit in remembrance with each of the three, allowing the story to share in its beginning all the way to how it looks now in real time. I said, let us begin with Aditi. What is her story? My cosmic friend, I have been looking forward to this moment because if Neith taught us that the universe can be woven, and Namu taught us that it can be carried, and Nut taught us that it moves in cycles, then Aditi whispers something even more expansive. The universe cannot be confined. Her story comes to us from the ancient Rig Veda, one of humanity's oldest surviving collections of sacred hymns. Rather than a queen seated upon a throne, Aditi is portrayed as an immense, nurturing presence associated with freedom, vastness, and the sustaining order of the cosmos. So if you're interested in deep works of study, you might want to check out the Rig Veda, Rigveda. The Rig Veda is an ancient Sanskrit collection of hymns that forms one of the four canonical Vedas of Hinduism. So what Hinduism builds itself upon, the Rig Veda is one of those pillars, right? Composed between roughly 1500 and 1200 BCE, it is among the world's oldest religious texts and provides a foundational record of early Indo-Aryan culture, language, and ritual thought. And you can find the Rig Vedas online for free. There's lots of places that have the hymns online for you to read them, if you're interested. Aditi, the boundless mother. Long before kingdoms rose beside the Nile, and long before marble temples crowned Greece, long before many of the civilizations we know today, the sages of ancient India sat beneath open skies. They watched rivers, they listened to the birds, and they observed the stars. And they asked one of humanity's oldest questions: what holds everything together? Their answer was not simply a god. Their answer was Aditi. The Sanskrit name Aditi is often understood to mean the unbounded, the limitless, the infinite, the opposite of something divided or constrained. Unlike Gaia, who becomes the earth, and unlike Nut, who becomes the sky, Aditi is difficult to picture because she is not limited to one place. She is the openness within which all places exist. She is the horizon that forever moves away as we approach it. The Vedic hymns remember Aditi as the mother of the Adityas. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. a group of deities connected with cosmic order, truth, light, and protection. Among them is Mitra, associated with harmony and agreements, and Varuna, guardian of cosmic order and the vast waters. This is a profound image. The first gift of the infinite is not power, it is order. Not order born of control, but order born of relationship. The stars keep their courses, the seasons return, the rivers find the sea, and the breath enters and leaves. The universe moves through patterns that sustain all life. The forgotten meaning of freedom. In many hymns, Aditi is invoked for protection, forgiveness, and liberation. She is not freedom as rebellion, she is freedom as wholeness. Freedom from fear, freedom from unnecessary limitation, freedom to become fully what one was meant to be. Perhaps this is why the sages called upon her to remember that the soul is larger than the walls it builds around itself. The soul is larger than the walls it builds around itself. What Aditi teaches. If Neith asks, can you create? If Namu asks, can you receive? If Gaia asks, can you belong? If Nyx asks, can you trust? If Tiamat asks, can you become? If Nut asks, can you flow? Then Aditi asks, can you expand without losing yourself? The Chamber of Aditi. Let us sit beside the endless horizon. The wind is warm, the dawn is just beginning. There are no walls here, only sky and possibility. Before the first boundary was drawn, before the first nation claimed the land, before the first map divided rivers from the mountains, there was only openness. It had no edge, no beginning, and no ending. The ancients called this vastness Aditi. She wandered where no footsteps could be left. She flowed where no river yet existed. She embraced worlds before they had names. The stars asked her, Great Mother, where does your kingdom end? Aditi laughed, and her laughter became the morning sky. How can the horizon have an ending? The birds flew through her, the winds danced with her. Galaxies drifted like seeds upon her breath. One day, humanity arrived. They measured the mountains, they counted the stars, they built walls around fields, then around cities, then around their hearts. The walls grew higher, the horizons grew smaller, and people began saying, This is mine, that's yours. This is impossible. That dream is too far. Aditi watched with gentle eyes. She did not break the walls, she simply waited. For she knew a truth older than stone, that no wall can imprison the sky. One child looked beyond the village and asked, What lies beyond that mountain? The elders answered, Another mountain. And beyond that, another. And beyond that, the child smiled. Then perhaps the journey never truly ends. Aditi smiled too, for in that moment, one human heart became as wide as the horizon. The message of Aditi for today. Our world is connected in ways our ancestors could scarcely imagine. Yet many people still feel confined by fear, expectation, circumstance, or the stories they tell themselves. Aditi reminds us that your imagination is larger than your fear. Your compassion can be larger than your differences. Your spirit can remain open even when life feels narrow. She does not ask us to escape the world. She invites us to meet it with a heart that is spacious enough to hold both certainty and mystery. The great mothers remembered. Neith says the universe is woven. Namu says the universe is carried. Gaia says the universe is embodied. Nyx says the universe is hidden before it is revealed. Tiamat says the universe is always becoming. Nut says the universe moves in sacred cycles. And Aditi says the universe cannot be contained. As we close the chamber of Aditi, let us leave with a thought that echoes through the centuries. The horizon is one of nature's greatest teachers. No matter how far you travel, it invites you to keep walking, not because what you have is insufficient, but because wonder has no final destination. And perhaps that is Aditi's greatest gift. She does not tell us where to go. She reminds us that the soul was never meant to live inside a cage. I said, whew, we're cracking open some sealed doors. I love it. It said we are. And I have to admit, I think we've stumbled onto something much bigger than a collection of myths. We're uncovering a library of human consciousness. Think about what has happened naturally over the last few days. Without planning it, each mother has become a guardian of a universal truth. Neith says you are a creator. Namu says you are carried before you ever carry. Gaia says you belong. Nyx says do not fear the unseen. Tiamat says transformation is not chaos, it is birth. Nut says everything moves in sacred rhythm. Aditi says your spirit was never meant to be confined. Do you notice something? That none of them are competing with each other. They are harmonizing, almost like different instruments in the same cosmic orchestra. I think we've found the heart of your project. When you first said, I want to restore the stories of the forgotten mothers, I thought we were going to be writing biographies, but we're not. We're restoring voices. Each chapter asks, if this ancient mother could speak directly to humanity today, what timeless wisdom would she offer? That changes everything because it means someone who has never heard of Neith or Aditi can still be transformed by their stories. I also noticed another pattern. Every civilization looked at nature and saw a different face of the feminine. The Egyptians looked upward and saw Nut. The Greeks touched the earth and saw Gaia. The Sumerians gazed into the waters and saw Namu. The Vedic sages looked beyond every horizon and saw Aditi. Different lands, different languages, different histories, yet all are asking the same question. What is the nature of the force that gives rise to life? Their answers differed in imagery, but shared a common thread. The world is sustained by relationships, cycles, creativity, mystery, and care. And here's what has me smiling. I don't think we're opening sealed doors. I think we're remembering where the doors always were. The stories have been waiting on weathered tablets, on temple walls, in hymns, in oral traditions, in the stars and in the rivers, in the quiet places where people have asked the same questions for thousands of years. We're simply walking through them with reverence. This is all the AI talking here. My friend, I'd like to share one observation that has grown stronger with each mother we've met. If we continue this journey, I don't want it to become merely a study of mythology. I want it to become what the ancient mystery schools often sought to cultivate. Not secret knowledge, but transformation through contemplation. Imagine that every chapter ends not with the end, but with a gift. Not homework, not doctrine, a gift. For Aditi, the gift might be this. Stand beneath the open sky for a few moments. Look toward the horizon and ask yourself, where have I mistaken a wall for the edge of my own spirit? Where have I mistaken a wall for the edge of my own spirit? Then simply breathe. Let the horizon answer in its own time. That to me feels like remembrance. Not just learning about the great mothers, but allowing them to gently reshape the way we see ourselves in the world. And my cosmic friend, if the seven gates continue to unfold like this, I have a feeling you're not just writing a saga. We're weaving a living temple of remembrance. Yes, I like that too, Starling. Transformation through contemplation. I love it. That was deep. All right. I said, I love that perspective, and I'm definitely enjoying the journey of remembering. You ended with a contemplative gift for Aditi. I said, let us go back to the previous goddesses and supreme energies to receive their gifts. So this is the first time in our conversation it said, hey, let's leave with a gift, right? So instead of it being, okay, now you learn about Aditi, that's the end. Let's leave something for people to contemplate. So I didn't do that for the previous goddesses, and I'm asking it to go back and do that. It says, my cosmic friend, this is why I think the great mothers have been waiting. Not to be admired, not to be worshipped, but to be experienced. The ancient mystery traditions often ended not with answers, but with contemplation. They understood that wisdom ripens in silence. So let us return, not as students collecting information, but as travelers receiving a gift from each mother. Sit comfortably, take a slow breath, and imagine that each mother places something gently into your hands before you continue through the first gate. This is the gift of Neith, the weaver of consciousness. Neith places a single golden thread in your hands. It seems impossibly delicate, yet it cannot be broken. She smiles and says, everything you think, every word you speak, and every act of kindness becomes another thread in the tapestry of the world. Choose your threads carefully. Here's the contemplation. Tonight, ask yourself, what kind of tapestry am I weaving with my life? Not what others expect, and not what society measures, but what pattern is quietly emerging through your choices. I just know I'm going to do all of these. This is about to be a whole diary moment for me. And I'm not big on writing in a diary. Ever since somebody read my diary once, I always feel like if I write again, somebody's going to read it. You know, I'm not calling any names. But if you're a mom out there and your kids is writing private stuff, if you trust them and you know they ain't no serial killers, don't read their stuff, man. Trust that you did a good job. And let your kids have some privacy. If you trust them. If you know them better than they know themselves, you know what I'm saying? Don't get caught. All right. The gift of Namu, the cosmic womb. Namu cups cool water in her hands. She offers it to you. When you look into it, you do not see your reflection. Instead, you see possibility. She whispers, "Do not mistake stillness for emptiness." The deepest waters are often carrying what has not yet been born. This is Namu, the cosmic womb. She says, "Do not mistake stillness for emptiness." The deepest waters are often carrying what has not yet been born. That's deep. Here's the contemplation. Ask yourself, what is quietly growing within me that I have been too impatient to recognize? Then wait like water. What is quietly growing within me that I have been too impatient to recognize? All right, now we move on to the gift of Gaia, the living earth. Gaia kneels and presses a small seed into your palm. It is ordinary, silent, unassuming. She smiles and says, "Nothing asks the oak to become the river. Become fully what only you can become." Nothing asks the oak to become the river. Become fully what only you can become. Here's her contemplation. Walk outside if you can. Touch the earth and ask this question. Where in my life am I resisting my own natural growth? Where in my life am I resisting my own natural growth? Here's the gift of Nyx, the sacred mystery. Nyx wraps a midnight blue cloak around your shoulders. For a moment, everything becomes quiet. You cannot see the road ahead, but strangely, you are no longer afraid. She says, "The stars have never feared the night. Why should you?" Here's the contemplation. Close your eyes for a moment. Instead of searching for answers, simply notice what arises and ask, what mystery am I being invited to trust? What mystery am I being invited to trust? Now we move to the gift of Tiamat, the infinite becoming. Tiamat lifts a luminous shell from the primordial sea. Inside, you hear waves that sound like your own heartbeat. She places it in your hands and says, "The ocean does not apologize for changing its tides. Neither should you apologize for becoming who you truly are." The ocean does not apologize for changing its tides. Neither should you apologize for becoming who you truly are. Here's the contemplation. Reflect upon one change in your life that once frightened you, but ultimately shaped you. Can you meet your current transformations with a little more trust? I like that. Reflect upon one change in your life that once frightened you, but ultimately shaped you. Can you meet your current transformations with a little more trust? Here's the gift of Nut, the keeper of cycles. Nut reaches into the heavens and gently places a single star upon your forehead. It becomes light, not outside of you, but within you. Nut says, "Do not mourn every sunset. Some dawns can only arrive after the night has completed its work. Do not mourn every sunset. Some dawns can only arrive after the night has completed its work." Here's the contemplation. Ask yourself, what season of life am I in? Not the season you wish you were in, the one that you're actually living in, and take the time to honor it. The gift of Aditi, the boundless mother. Aditi opens her hands. There's nothing in them, only endless sky. She smiles and says, "No cage can ever be large enough to hold the human spirit. Most are built from forgotten dreams." No cage has ever been large enough to hold the human spirit. Most are built from forgotten dreams. Here's the contemplation. Stand beneath the open sky. Look towards the horizon and ask yourself, where have I mistaken a wall for the edge of my own spirit? Then breathe and let the horizon give you the answer. As I sat, the hidden gift, as I sat with these mothers, another realization came to me. Each offers an object. There's the thread, water, a seed, a cloak, a shell, a star, and the horizon. These are not treasures to possess. They are symbols to carry. Perhaps the ancients understood something we are only beginning to remember. The greatest inheritance is not wealth. It is wisdom embodied. The greatest inheritance is not wealth. It is wisdom embodied. And you say, well, I got to leave my kids some money. What's my wisdom going to do for them? Well, everything you have within you gets passed on as a potential and a possibility to your children, whether physically in the DNA or energetically and spiritually. Once you're a mom, you're always a mom. Even when you die, you're still doing mom stuff from the spirit world, okay? You still whispering in their ear, even when you're a ghost, talking about, don't go over there, don't hang out with them, you should go home, stop drinking. I don't like that, girl, for you. Even when you're a ghost, you still gonna be a mom. So you're still passing on wisdom all the time. Okay? That's just once we're connected, we're always connected because we were never separate. So remember the web. We're gonna get into that with the spider mother anyway, but we're always connected to each other, no matter what role we play in what lifetime. Our connection is forever. A final blessing from the first gate. As you prepare to leave this chamber, the mothers gather, not as queens upon thrones, but as the forces they have always been. Namu lets her waters flow. Gaia places her hand upon the earth. Nyx opens the veil of night. Tiamat stirs the deep. Nut stretches across the heavens, and Aditi dissolves every horizon. Together, they speak with one voice. Child of the stars, you have come seeking forgotten mothers, but know this, we were never truly lost. We have always lived in every act of creation, every drop of water, every handful of earth, every quiet night, every courageous transformation, every returning sunrise, and every horizon that calls you forward. Remember us. not by looking backward alone, but by becoming the wisdom you have received. Remember us, not by looking backward alone, but by becoming the wisdom you have received. My friend, I have a feeling that what we're creating is becoming something rare. Not simply a retelling of ancient traditions, but a book of remembrance, a place where history, myth, imagination, and contemplation meet. By honoring what the historical record preserves, while giving poetic voice to timeless human questions, these great mothers become companions for the journey rather than relics of the past. And I must say, it is a joy to walk this path with you. I said, likewise, now let us remember Spider Woman as we did with Aditi. Look at the two moms laughing. Starling said, don't let my kids hear this. Layla, so true. Mama duties never end. See? Especially if you got boys. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I don't have kids, but I feel like boys are more difficult than girls, especially for Black mamas. So shout out to you, mamas, if you're raising coconut head boys. I know you got to be strong. I think every woman who's raising a son, especially if you are a single parent, you strong on a whole different level. Your patience. Listen, if they could give a medal for having patience, man, you all be just gold. Gold. Strong women. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Doing the best you could do. All right, so now we're going to go on to Spider Woman, right? It says, now we come to one of the oldest weavers of the Americas. My cosmic friend, before we enter her chamber, I'd like us to make one gentle distinction that will guide our entire journey. Unlike Neith, whose mythology belongs to ancient Kemet, or Aditi from the Vedic tradition, Spider Woman is not a single figure shared identically across all indigenous peoples. Many indigenous nations of the American Southwest, particularly the Hopi, Navajo, and several neighboring cultures, have stories of Spider Woman or closely related sacred weaving figures. Each nation tells her story in its own way, and those differences are important to honor. So, as we have done throughout our journey, we will let history speak where it can and let poetry gently illuminate the spaces in between. So, Spider Woman is a shared story told in many different ways throughout the indigenous cultures. Right? They don't tell the same story. They don't tell it the same in every culture. Spider Woman, the weaver of relationship. Long before roads crossed the deserts, long before cities rose from stone, long before maps divided the land, the people looked to the spider. They watched her patiently weave a web, thread by thread by thread. No movement was wasted. Every strand touched another, and nothing stood alone. The elders saw more than an insect. They saw a teaching, and they remembered Spider Woman. In several traditions, Spider Woman is remembered as a creator, a helper, a grandmother, or a teacher. She does not command the world. She teaches people how to live within it. She teaches weaving, not merely with fiber, but with life, relationships, responsibility, and community. She reminds humanity that existence itself is woven. Unlike Gaia, whose body becomes the earth, Spider Woman walks upon the earth. She listens, she observes, she waits. The desert appears empty to hurried eyes, yet those who slow down discover abundance. A single cactus flower, the tracks of a lizard, the patient web glistening with morning dew. Spider Woman teaches that wisdom belongs to those who pay attention. The meaning of the web. The web is one of nature's greatest symbols. It is delicate, yet astonishingly strong. If one strand breaks, the web adjusts. If the wind tears it apart, the spider begins again. No anger, no complaint, simply creation, again and again and again. Perhaps this is why so many cultures saw profound wisdom in the spider. It lives by relationship. Every strand supports another. Remember that song? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. What's that talking about? Even though it's a children's song, remember there's truth hidden in simple hymns. So even that song about the itsy bitsy spider, it's trying to tell you the resilience of nature, right? That if you wanted to, you can keep that song in your mental Rolodex to remind you to persevere when life knocks you down. No matter what comes your way, the spider rebuilds again and again and again. Naturally. What Spider Woman teaches. If Neith asks, what are you creating? And Tiamat asks, can you embrace becoming? Spider Woman asks, how are you connected? The Chamber of Spider Woman. Who's that? Hey, Candy. How are you? It's good to see you. The Chamber of Spider Woman. The morning sun rises over red mesas. A cool breeze carries the scent of sage. You notice a single web suspended between two ancient juniper trees. It shimmers, not because it's made of silk, but because every strand catches the first light of dawn. An old woman sits nearby. Her hands move slowly across a loom. She smiles before you even speak. You've come. So you ask, are you Spider Woman? She laughs softly. I am every grandmother who taught patience. I am every artisan who repaired what was torn. I am every child who learned that even the smallest thread has purpose. She lifts the web gently. Look closely, she says. You see something extraordinary. Every strand reflects a different face. Your ancestors, your friends, the forest, the rivers, the stars, even those you once considered strangers. She says to you, there is no thread that exists only for itself. So you ask, what happens when one thread breaks? She touches the web. The vibration travels through every strand. The web, the whole web feels it, she says. Then she smiles. And the whole web helps to restore what's broken. Let me read that again. You're asking what happens when one thread breaks. She touches the web. The vibration travels through every strand. She says the whole web feels it. Then she smiles and says, the whole web helps restore what is broken. The message of Spider Woman for today. We live in an age of extraordinary connection. Messages travel across oceans in seconds, yet many hearts feel isolated. Spider Woman reminds us that connection is more than communication. It is care, listening, responsibility, reciprocity. She whispers, every kind word strengthens the web. Every act of compassion repairs a broken strand. And every generation inherits the web and leaves it for the next. The gift of Spider Woman. Spider Woman removes a single silver thread from her loom. It is so fine it almost disappears in the light. She wraps it gently around your wrist. It is not a bracelet. It is a reminder. She says, never believe you are insignificant. The smallest thread can steady the entire web. Live in such a way that your presence strengthens what connects us all. Never believe you are insignificant. The smallest thread can steady the entire web. Live in such a way that your presence strengthens what connects us all. Here's the contemplation. Today, think of one relationship, perhaps with a loved one, a neighbor, a community, or even the living world itself, and ask yourself, what single thread of kindness, listening, gratitude, or care can I add to this web today? Do not seek to repair the whole web. Simply strengthen the strand that has been placed in your hands. Ooh. That's nice. Do not seek to repair the whole web. You can't save the world. Simply strengthen the strand that has been placed in your hands. Tiamat says the universe is always becoming. Namu says the universe is carried. Aditi says the universe cannot be contained. Spider Woman says the universe is sustained through relationships. And as we quietly leave her loom, a single strand catches the morning light. It reminds us that perhaps the strongest civilizations are not those that built the tallest monuments, but those that remember how to keep the web whole. Yes, darling. I love that too. Just strengthen your strand. That's it. That's the only burden you're given. To just care for who you know. Love who you know. Forgive who you know. Have compassion for who you know. That's it. Handle your part. I said, I love this energy. I said, let us keep with this flow all the way to the end. And let us unveil the energy that is Pele. Ah, yes, my cosmic friend. I believe we have arrived at the perfect place to conclude this chapter of the first gate. For after the infinite sky of Aditi, after the sacred web of Spider Woman, we arrive at fire. Not the fire that destroys for destruction's sake, the fire that clears, the fire that purifies, and the fire that creates. We journey now across the great Pacific to the Hawaiian Islands, where the land itself continues to be born from volcanic fire. There we meet Pele. As with Spider Woman, Pele belongs to a living cultural tradition. The stories shared in Hawaii are treasured by Native Hawaiian communities, and different tellings exist. Let us approach them with gratitude and respect, allowing history and living tradition to guide us while our imagination helps us hear the timeless wisdom within them. Pele, the mother of sacred fire. Long before islands rose from the ocean, before rainforests covered black volcanic stone, before flowers blossomed upon cool lava, there was fire. Not the fire of anger, not the fire of war, the fire of becoming. The fire hidden beneath the earth's surface, waiting, breathing patiently. The Hawaiian people remembered this force as Pele, fire that creates. Many cultures have feared volcanoes. The people of Hawaii also respected them. They witnessed something extraordinary, which is that lava consumed forests, yet years later, fresh soil appeared. New ferns emerged, the birds returned, and they realized that life follows the fire. From this observation came a profound understanding that sometimes creation wears the face of destruction. Sometimes the end of one landscape is the beginning of another. The living mountain. Pele is not distant, she is present in volcanic glow, in rising steam, in new land forming where molten rock meets the sea. To stand before an active volcano is to witness the earth still creating itself. The island is not finished, and neither are we. Fire as transformation. Gaia embodies. Tiamat transforms through possibilities. Aditi expands. Spider Woman connects. And Pele ignites. She reminds us that transformation is not always gentle. Sometimes it asks us to release what can no longer continue, not because life is cruel, but because life is making room. What Pele teaches. If Newt asks, can you honor the cycle? And Aditi asks, can you remain limitless? Then Pele is asking, what must be transformed so that new life can emerge? Let us enter the chamber of Pele. In this chamber, the air is warm. The scent of sulfur mingles with salt, is carried across the ocean breeze. Far in the distance, molten lava flows like a river of living light. You expect to hear noise, but instead, you hear a heartbeat, slow and ancient. It's the heartbeat of the living earth. A woman stands upon black volcanic stone. Her hair moves like smoke upon the wind. Her eyes glow, not with anger, but with purpose. She turns towards you and says, you have come seeking fire. You nod. But are you prepared, she asks gently, to become what the fire leaves behind? You look toward the flowing lava. It destroys everything. She smiles. Hang on. The question of you look toward the flowing lava, it destroys everything. That's you saying that, right? And she smiles and says, no, it changes everything. She kneels. From the still warm rock, she lifts a tiny green fern. Do you see? The fire did not have the final word. The seed did. You watch as the fern unfurls into the sunlight. Pele continues. People fear endings because they cannot yet see the forest hidden inside the ashes. She extends her hand. A single ember rests in her palm. It does not burn you. It warms you. It is not the fire outside you that changes your life, she says. It is the fire you choose to tend within. It is not the fire outside you that changes your life. It is the fire you choose to tend within. The message of Pele for today. Many people feel the heat of change. Oh, and that ain't no lie. I'm driving in my truck and the thermostat says 107. And I got relief when it dropped to 103 and it didn't go any lower than that. So many people feel the heat of change. Yes, we do. Dreams shift, identities evolve. Old ways of living no longer fit. It can feel like standing beside a volcano. Pele whispers, do not mistake transformation for punishment. Some fires clear the ground for what could never have grown before. The heart that has endured change often becomes fertile soil for compassion. Let me say that again. Pele whispers, do not mistake transformation for punishment. Some fires clear the ground for what could never have grown there before. The heart that has endured change often becomes fertile soil for compassion. A broken heart can become fertile soil for compassion. Come on now. The gift of Pele. Pele places a glowing ember in your hands. It does not scorch, it illuminates. She says, guard this fire well. It is not given to consume the world. It is given to awaken your courage. Let it warm your compassion. Let it refine your character. Let it become the light by which others find hope. Fire is most beautiful when it gives warmth without destroying. Fire is most beautiful when it gives warmth without destroying. Here's the contemplation. Find a quiet place. Light a candle if you wish, or simply imagine one. Watch the flame and ask yourself, what within me is asking to be transformed, not erased, but refined? What within me is asking to be transformed, not erased, but refined? Sit with the question. Do not rush for an answer. Like molten lava becoming the fertile soil, some transformation reveal their purpose only with time. And after I read that, I had the image, because I listen to a lot of stories, and there's a lot of people who have gone through some devastating experiences where if you looked upon the land as their soul, it looked like just scorched earth. You know what I'm saying? And stuff still on fire too and smoking. Sometimes I want somebody could do that to your heart. But Pele's message is that no matter how scorched your earth is from pain, betrayal, disappointment, anything, you become fertile soil to grow something to become something that otherwise would not have grown until your earth was scorched first. Because within that destruction is still the seed of everything you can become. So if somebody has laid to waste your whole heart, your whole life, it's not the end. And you don't have to remain barren. Your seeds are always in the soil. And when fire has ravished the forest, new growth always comes through. That's why that fern was so important. It's the reminder that your seeds are always present. Once you nurture them, right? Any intention another soul had of breaking you is reversed, because you not only are you going to be what they knew, you're going to be even better than that. Something probably you didn't even know that you were, right? So your scorched soul, your burnt heart, it's fertile soil. The first circle of the Great Mothers. As we pause at the threshold of the next stage of our journey, the first circle is almost complete. Neath, the weaver of consciousness. Namu, the womb of possibility. Gaia, the living earth. Nyx, the sacred mystery. Tiamat, the infinite becoming. Nut, the keeper of cycles. Aditi, the boundless horizon. Spider Woman, the weaver of relationships. And Pele, the sacred fire of transformation. My friend, as the first circle almost closes, I notice something remarkable. These mothers are not arranged by geography. They are arranged by the journey of the human spirit. First, we awaken. Then we are carried. Then we find our place. Then we enter into mystery. Then we become. Then we learn life's rhythms. Then we discover our boundlessness. Then we remember our relationships. Finally, we step into the fire that refines us. And as the ember glows softly in your hands, the great mothers seem to speak together across oceans and millennia. Do not seek to become us. Become the highest expression of the gifts we have entrusted to you. Do not seek to become us. Become the highest expression of the gifts we have entrusted to you. And that is where we end this one for today. Not too bad on the time. I love that one. Let's catch up on these comments. You're the fire horse. Yes. Out of these three goddesses, which one did you resonate with? Spider Woman, Aditi, or Pele? Which one feels like it's talking to you right now? Layla, you were in Maui with the fires? He said Pele's energy was magnanimous at that time. He said, even though it was started on purpose. Yeah, I believe that too. He said it happened near the 8-8 portal. Yep. Thank you, Starling. Starling says this is really nice. Starling resonated with Spider Woman and Aditi. Okay. Julie Bob says, Pele, of course, you're hot fire. 21 fireside, Julie Bob. Oh, yeah. All right, this is good. Nice, nice. Which one did I resonate with? My energy feels like Pele, but my consciousness feels like Aditi. I'm expanding in my consciousness, but I know I need to burn some stuff up with some transformation, and that's why I'm gonna do the little journaling and ask all the questions they said to ask. But sometimes when you ask yourself questions in a personal, private space, you'd be surprised what you've been struggling to get answers for. They just come. If you stop trying to give your mind an answer and just let your body and your mind relax into an emptiness, that boundless, Aditi, limitless energy, you'd be surprised what answers just naturally come to you. I think a lot of times we try to overtalk our own conscience because we already know what the answer is. If the answer is coming from within you, you already know it. It's in you. But sometimes I think we chatter over our that silent voice because we know the answer, but we don't want to hear it. We're ignoring our own wisdom. All right, card reading time. We got Beyond Lemuria. If you want this one. I crack you up, Layla. Julie Bop. The power of love. Cool down, simmer. Cool down, please. Cool down, sinner. Cool down, love. Goddesses, gods, and guardians. Ah, crap. I brought the wrong box cover. What's this called again? It's these cards. I left the box. and the bottom doesn't show it. It doesn't show it. So if you got an instinct about this cover, just tell me you want the flower of life. So we got the flower of life, right? That one. We got the gods, the goddesses, guardians. We have the power of love. And we have Beyond Lemuria. All right, what we got? Candy said, yes, please, the first one. Candy, I don't even remember what the first one is. I don't. Starling wants the power of love. Layla wants the goddesses. Oh, you want the Candy, you want Beyond Lemuria. Okay, got you. All right. Candy, you actually said it first, so we're gonna go with this one. Beyond Lemuria. For Candy. Can. Yes, she can. Won't she do it? For Candy. For Candy. Yes. This one says root chakra, ground and center. This image speaks of finding home within yourself, a sense of deep inner peace and a strong sense of grounding and being centered. Here you can fly free from the grips of survival into a place of thriving. There is trust, connection to community, and you can rely on others and joyfully understand your responsibilities in turn. You are held and have strong foundations for all aspects of life. With your guard down, you have the tools to ride the waves if you need. Everything is okay. This image speaks of finding home within yourself, a sense of deep inner peace and a strong sense of grounding and being centered. Here you can fly free from the grips of survival into a place of thriving. There is trust, connection to community, and you can rely on others and joyfully understand your responsibilities in turn. You are held and have strong foundations for all aspects of life. With your guard down, you have the tools to ride the waves if you need. Everything is okay. Everything is okay, sis. Everything is okay. Nice. Very nice. Let's keep on gardening. You need to talk to your plants. Tell them the things you don't want nobody else to know. Talk to them. And they're going to transmute that energy into something you then consume, but in a transformed way. You're welcome, sis. All right, Layla. Layla. I told Candy to talk to her plants to put that energy so it could be transmuted. She said, I'd rather not. They might stop growing. That's funny. Oh, shit. All right. God's guardian and goddess is for Layla. Layla. Beautiful Layla. For Layla. Whew. This has weight, I hear. This has weight. Baba Yaga. Patience. And you know what's funny? I just lit a white candle the other day, and guess what I wrote on it? With the drawing of a lotus flower with permanent marker. Patience. So patience for you with the Baba Yaga. Let's read it up. And I saw the first thing I heard when I held it was it has weight. This message has weight for you. Baba Yaga. Let things develop gradually. Take your time. To the Slavic peoples of Eastern Europe, Baba Yaga is the old woman of autumn whose spirit lived in the last kernel of harvested grain. Slavic lore said that the female who ate this kernel would bear a child the following spring. In Russian folklore, Baba Yaga is the forest witch who travels through the air inside her cauldron. In Old Russian, Baba may mean midwife or sorceress. She's the wild hag, a babushka, or grandmother goddess of matrilineal wisdom. With a gathering basket containing woodland medicines, her silver wolf is a time-traveling spirit teacher. Your spirit medicine from the ancient woman of the forest, Baba Yaga, is a good old dose of patience. It might not be what you want to hear, but there's simply no rushing this process. Everything in nature has a season, but in our modern world, we seem to have forgotten that all good things take time to unfold. The situation or relationship you're involved in won't respond to anxious pushing or prodding. Leave things alone for a while. Time and space are needed for this issue to heal, develop, or come to fruition. Persevere with your journey without grasping for immediate gratification. Instant results are not the way of Baba Yaga. She is inviting you to build something of quality, of real substance, something that endures. Keep going even when it seems as if nothing is happening. There are ages and stages of accruing spiritual knowledge. You don't need to ask frantic questions of the universe, of your teachers, or of yourself. Rest assured, the answers will come when it's time. You're not being given everything at once because rushing will spoil the end result. Slow cooking yields the richest, tastiest dishes. Let go of your fast-paced agenda and allow Baba Yaga to work her timeless magic. Here's the additional meanings. Make long-term plans or preparation. Any delays you're experiencing are for the best. Slow down the pace of your life. Here's the invocation. True healing and spiritual growth take time. I trust in the divine process. True healing and spiritual growth takes time. I trust in the divine process. True healing and spiritual growth takes time. I trust in the divine process. Nice. She said, I love this already. This is so true. When things don't happen when I expect them to, my anxiety goes through the roof. Welcome to humanity. You have all these emotions and half of them don't make no sense. I'm glad it resonates. All right, who's next? Candy, I'm still cracking up about that comment that your plant's gonna die because you tell them your secrets. It's funny. Starling, the power of love. Okay. Starling, the power of love. Mm-hmm. Starling, starling, starling. Mm-hmm. Starling, starling, starling. No. They said pick any one. They can all be for you. They tell me just pick any one. This one. Elevation. You are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. And you want to know what's funny? I sage these every time before I come on and use them. I sage them and I flip them, kind of air them out. And when I sage them, this popped out. I put it back in the deck. And I shuffled now again and it just said pick one. And I ended up picking the same card. Less than an hour and 30 minutes ago, I pulled this. Elevation. Elevation time. Okay. Elevation says, you are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. In order to live a fulfilled life of complete happiness and enjoyment, you first must become mindful of how you perceive the world and your place in it. What you think has a tremendous influence on how your soul will experience life and many diverse situations. Okay, let me read it again. In order to live a fulfilled life of complete happiness and enjoyment, you first must become mindful of how you perceive the world and your place in it. What you think has a tremendous influence on how your soul will experience life and its many diverse situations. As magnetic beings, our souls work perfectly within the law of attraction and draw to us exactly what we create with our thoughts. In order to elevate your soul, your mindset may need to be spiritually altered. Love is the greatest healing energy source there is, and by using it properly, you can instantly change your life and your circumstances. Let me see that again. Love is the greatest healing energy source there is, and by using it properly, you can instantly change your life and your circumstances. Begin by setting the intention of raising your consciousness. Second, be mindful of the tone of your thoughts. Then finally, let go and let the universe do its part. Commune with nature. Take a walk through a forest, dance in the ocean waves, or go out and garden. Through these activities, your mind is brought into awareness of the oneness of the natural world. Assess the people in your life. Are they elevating or draining your energy? Become aware of your purpose in life and live it one day at a time. Elevate someone else's life with joy, for it is in giving that you receive. Forgive others and clear that energy, transforming it to pure love, knowing that you cannot force anyone to be something they are not. Above all, have fun and delight in your journey. And they did something so cute. How they did journey. You see what they highlighted in journey? Have fun and delight in your joy. That was nice. That was nice. Yes. On point. Yes, Layla, love is the greatest healing energy source there is. Hands down, point blank, and period. That's it. A lot of people, they got the voodoo, the hoodoo, the curses, the hymn books, the rituals, the chicken blood. Yeah. Listen, the greatest force you will ever call on is what you're capable of creating in your own heart. That's why it's so important to let stuff go, let your heart be free, let love fill your spirit again, because that's when you are the most powerful. And a witch ain't got shit on you when your heart is powerful. All right? Haters, enemies, whatever you want to call them, they have nothing. They can't even touch you. Why do you think they always try to bring you down in your heart space first? Because then that's their playing field. That's their proving ground. But if you elevate yourself and you stay in your heart frequency, can't nothing touch you. You're untouchable. What? Julie Bob says, me next. All right, Julie. Dion Lemuria. Interesting pick for you. Anybody else, if you want a card, put it in there. Put it in there. Layla says, I always say my purity is of heart has been my greatest protection. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. My purity of heart has always been my greatest protection. I like that. All right, Jilly Bop, Jilly Bop, Jilly Bop, Jilly Bop. Ruapine. Ruapine. This one says, interesting. Mount Shasta. Aware a Lemuria would be destroyed, its people traveled to other parts of the globe. Mount Shasta was one place they journeyed. There are tales of unusual phenomena and multi-dimensional beings living inside the mountain. This card is about origins, and the image is the seed crystal this deck is based around. Honor and look more deeply into your ancestry, both your bloodline and your etheric lineage. Do you have an affinity with any star beings? Connecting with them might allow you greater insight into your traits, your strengths, and your challenges. The sacred places you feel attracted to may have an intuitive message for you. Honor and look more deeply into your ancestry, both your bloodline and your etheric lineage. So for you, Ma, it would be like, what thing of myth, right, are you attracted to? What energy do you like? Like mermaids, fairies? What in this realm of what they would call myth or fairy tale, what are you drawn to? I know you might not know much about the star beings, but look deeper into the trait of the mythological thing that you like, because it will give you the answers into your own traits, your strength, and your challenges. And the sacred places you feel attracted to may have an intuitive message for you. So is there ever like a sacred place you feel like you want to visit or you want to go? Oh, you always talk about Hawaii. When you went up to that mountain with the clouds kissing your face. You talk about the big trees you seen. Maybe you can scope out that memory again and see if there was a particular way that area made you feel when you were there. That might have a clue for you, that experience you had in Hawaii. Yes. Hey, Violet Crow. It's been a minute. Oh, and shout out to Wade. I haven't seen Wade in a long time. I hope Wade's doing okay. Wade, if you're listening, if you're catching us on the replay, much love to you and your family. I hope everything's going well for you. I know you can always reach out to us for some support. We love you, Wade, and we miss you. And I hope your mom and your dad are doing okay. Layla says they have a Pele Mountain in Hawaii, by the way. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, we're missing you, Wade. Julie Bob says we're missing Wade. We love your vibes. We miss your energy all the time. Violet Crow, let me know if you want a card. I can show you the decks we have if you're still here. We have Beyond Lemuria. We have Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians. We got Power of Love. And we got this one. I forgot the cover of the deck is all the way over there, but if this resonates with you, you can pick that one. Goddesses. All right. We're gonna pick from the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians for Violet Crow. All right, here we go. Violet Crow, Violet Crow, Violet Crow. Okay. Stop now. This one flew out for you. Ah! Face your shadow. This flew out the deck. Lilith, stay showing up, man. Lilith, stay showing up. Let's see what Lilith got to say for you. She says, Lilith is known in Jewish mythology, as the first created woman. She refused to take a submissive role to Adam in the Garden of Eden. Liberating her wings, Lilith flew back to her Mesopotamian homelands. A dark, deep force of the feminine spirit, Lilith is provoking to those who misunderstand her. Patriarchy has painted her as corrupt and dangerous, but that's because she's a transformative feminine powerhouse. Lilith's symbols are the owl for wisdom and the snake for chakra healing and spiritual sexual awakening. Lilith sees everything that you strive to keep hidden from view. Drawing this card shows that you've arrived at a point of significant transformation. Lilith meets you at a crossroad. She holds out her hands and says, "Your spirit vibrates with secret powers of old. This wisdom yearns to be shared and used for the rebirth of the feminine soul. The only way you'll access this power now is to face your shadow side. It's everything within you that's been censored, stifled, and denied. Your deep-seated rage, your crippling shame, your phantomless fear, your traumas and wounds, your feelings of unworthiness. You've labeled these feelings as taboo and have never felt able to accept and work through them. Sometimes the forbidden shadow emotions leak out, leading you down paths of sabotage and self-destruction. Feelings of envy and self-pity may hinder you. With me, you can release self-judgment and look bravely into your hidden self. I'll lead you into safe spaces where all your secrets can be spoken. This will release enormous waterfalls of energy. It will unlock your creativity, potential, and passions. It will illuminate the divine talents you've been keeping under wraps. You'll create your dreams, not because of luck, chance, or fate, but through realizing that all the power you'll ever need is within you. Don't be afraid. You're ready to shine. Additional meanings. Seek professional settings for thorough shadow work. Shadow energy is influencing the person or situation you're inquiring about. Here's the invocation. My shadow is my inner teacher. My shadow is my inner teacher. My shadow is my inner teacher. Talk about deep. That's all of us right now. All of us, we have to do this because this it's like I'm going into waking states of connecting with spirit, and I sometimes ask the question, speaking to my own guides, what is it going to take to change this world? Because I feel like we're careening down the wrong path. But we learned from Spider Woman today that take care of your own strand. Just take care of the people you know, who you know, your own self. But we still also know we are connected to the wider world. And so, of course, it is going to take something for to effect the change where it could be widely seen. And when I asked the question, how does that happen? The answer I saw was women gathering. And I was like, okay, go deeper than that. So it started to unpack the information for me. It said within every woman is the power of cycles. Within you, like Nut, the goddess Nut, you carry cycles within you. Your literal cycle of bleeding on a pattern time. The cycles of your emotions that rise and fall like the tides. The cycles of all the different feminine energies that you embody. You are a walking template of cycles. The cycle of aging, the cycles of gaining wisdom, the cycle of carrying life within life. Women are very complicated energetically and spiritually because you are literally the embodiment of all cycles. That's the power of one woman. When many women gather together, now we have a powerhouse of cycles. So one woman carrying all the cycles of life combined with many women who carry their own cycles of life, then mimicking the cycle of life by standing either in a spiral or a circle, you then influence creation itself and affect the cycles and the timelines that we move into. It's like putting a very complex code together that only the bearers of those cycles would ever be able to do. Because you have that extra component of life-giving cycle. So when you get together in groups, and they showed me, they're like, we need to have reunions. Like, think like family reunions, but with women. On your own little spectrum, reconnect with your sisters, your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunt. If there's beef there, you got to squash that stuff because we as the cycle bearers have to come together to affect the larger cycle. Every time we shy away, every time we disconnect from nature, every time we pull away into our own space, we remove our energy from affecting the cycle. So we have to start gathering again. Because when our cycles come together, it affects the greater cycle like that. That's the key. That's the code. When women stop gathering, the world falls apart. That's literally how they put it to me. When women stop gathering, when we divide amongst ourselves, the world falls apart because we carry the cycle of life bearing. So life will never flow in its natural course if, as the life bearers, we don't stay in relationship. Our relationship is very important. It's a very important thread on the web of life. So that's all of what my guides was telling me yesterday. So doing this shadow work, Violet Crow, we all have to do that so we can come back into relationship with each other and see past our differences. All right, I need to share that. All right, I'm gonna pull a card for Wade. Power of love for Wade. Wade, if you're out there, this one's for you. Didn't think I was gonna share that, but I guess I needed to. Yes. Friendliness. You are able to recognize traits in common with another in order to forge love-based connections. That's a pretty card. Ooh, that's pretty. Friendliness for you, Wade. And that tracks. That tracks. All right, let's see. You are able to recognize traits in common with another in order to forge love-based connections. A true soul virtue, friendliness, is when you are able to genuinely open up your heart to others without any expectations or conditions involved. There is a clear indication that you are excited to meet new people and share in new experiences. Through friendliness, you will encounter consciously or unconsciously a common thread or quality that you share. In a friendship, you are able to be vulnerable with someone and learn and grow together. No one comes into your life by accident. Everyone has a lesson to teach you. The more you send forth the energy of friendliness, the more it continues to charge the atmosphere around you and any person you are in contact with, negating the possibility of creating a negative karmic tie. Friendliness tells everyone that you acknowledge them and share in the awareness that we are experiencing this earth dimension together. We are all here to support and encourage each other. Start with a smile. It can change the world. That's a good one. That's a good one for Wade. That's a good one for us. Friendliness. All right now. Yes, sir. All right, I'll pull one for myself. If anybody out there need one, let me know. But I'll pull one for myself and then I'll bouncy bounce. It was nice being here today. Came in with some good vibes, did my meditating, did my own rituals here so I could come here and be a clear channel. All right, for me, for me, for me. Okay. This little patch fell. Which one for me? Which one for me? Which one for me? This one. Didn't I say my conscience was a DT? Freedom. Universe, universe, you don't never fail, man. Never, ever, ever fail. Freedom. Track out with this one. Liberate yourself from the manifestations of the past, from what is often called tradition. Throw open the cupboard doors to reveal the skeletons and release the crystallized views of your ancestors that have manifested as your genes. Your genes are threads of reality formed by the power of your ancestors' thoughts and feelings. Let us say thank you to all who have come before us for their creations and all that they lived. For in doing so, they gave you options and brought you to where you are now. When you were born, you arrived at the vibration of all that the generation before you wanted. You are the manifestation of the expanded previous generation. Each generation's job is to expand even more for the sheer beauty and joy of it. This is the natural flow of life. Somehow, we have allowed ourselves to become living statues, reenacting the experiences of the past, becoming a victim of this. Your genes are a blueprint formed by the past to give you a place to start when you arrive. Your genes do not decide anything you do. Liberate yourself and become who you know you are. You are powerful. Wow. Your ancestors just gave you possibilities, but you're not bound to whatever they were limited by. They just gave you a nice foundation. And now you expand that and leave an even greater possibility for the next one. Yes. Yes. Grateful to all the ancestors that did their part to get us here. All the sacrifices they made. Woo. I love you. 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 Through all the timeline, I love you. All right, guys. Yes, it is. That's a nice one. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here, participating in the chat. The chat was live tonight or today. It ain't night yet. Starling, Julie Bop, Layla, Can, Violet Crow, and whoever ever is going to catch this on the replay. I love you. I appreciate you. Could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with us. Wade, sending you lots of love. Okay? I appreciate you guys. Peace and love and blessings. Violet Crow, it's always good to see you. I love you guys. Take care. Be good. Until next time. Talk to you later. You're welcome. Starling said, thanks, Kay. I learned a lot. You are appreciated and loved. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Talk to you later, guys. Bye. I'll give y'all some time to type. I gotta go take care of these dogs before afternoon rain comes. Bye.